Me and the missus was watching Scarface the other night, right? And I got to thinking, I've seen Scarface 100,000 times. So we watching the movie and we get to the part where Tony go to Bolivia with Omar and met to meet with Sosa. And she was like, see, this where all the problems started, right? I'm like, for who? Tony? She said, yeah. I was like, nah, this the come up. He not the man right now. Like, once he do this, he gonna get closer to becoming the man. So I was like, nah, this just the beginning. This is him still on the come up. It was something missing in the movie as far as the scenes I'm talking about, like what happened prior. Cause it went from Tony and Manolo at Tony's mama's house talking with his sister or whatever, and then they go to Bolivia. I would have liked to seen the conversation Frank either had with Omar and Tony, or just Tony, or just Omar. Because I feel like a conversation was definitely had, because Frank had his case, so he couldn't travel, which is what Tony told Sosa. So it's like, okay. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, now why was Tony down there? Why did Tony end up going down there and not? Okay. But anyway, what happened, and then the movie goes on. Now, what I told her is that when he went to New York, that's when it got to the point of no return. I think the main reason for Tony's downfall was he was getting high on his own supply. Shorty told you the rules of the game, man, and you disobeyed that rule. The same supply you was supplying other people, you was all the time. Like it had got to the point where it was like, it became funny to us watching the movie, because we like, oh, see, there you go again. There you go again. I think if he wasn't getting high, he wouldn't have been so paranoid, and he would have been thinking straight. Once he got a hold of that booger sugar, it was over. This is just my opinion. I don't know how y'all feel. Leave me your thoughts in the comments if you so happen to disagree. What was Tony's biggest downfall? When he went to New York, that was the start. That was pretty much the beginning of the end. Tony caught his case, which was another thing that he shouldn't have done. Take over Manny's deal and going to do that, I felt like that was dumb, because just think about it. Tony don't go to meet with that dude when they was trying to count their money up, right? Come to find out he police. If Manny was there, Manny would have ended up getting booked. It wouldn't have been as bad. It would have been a little light on him, because you telling them to write a check with your last name attached to it, and you here with it? Like, bro, you the boss. You not even supposed to be. Like, what are you talking about? You got a second in command for a reason. And he set that up. He met with them people. Send your right hand. Tell your right hand man go do that. No, yeah, you go handle that. Go handle that. Then when he get caught, you bail him out, and then you tell him he's a dummy. Like, why you ain't check him out? It would have been a little better for him, as opposed to Tony doing the deal, but that was another thing that he did wrong. Sosa had Tony come down to Bolivia. This politician or whatever dude was on TV talking about Sosa and the other dude. I guess everybody else in the room too. So Sosa and them want to get rid of dude, right? Okay, cool. Because your mans don't know his way around the states. You want Tony to do it because Tony's name didn't come up. From what they saw, at least, Tony's name didn't come up. Now, if Tony's name was involved in that, which Sosa never mentioned, like, yo, he actually talk about you too. You want Tony to do this, to whack this dude for y'all, but you telling him, you dangling the carrot, like, you like, yeah, I can make sure you don't do no time. You just have to pay a big fine. Sosa is a lot more diabolical than we give him credit for. The fact that you was able to manipulate Tony into even going on that trip, you could have just been like, hey, I mean, they probably would have he probably would have got whacked in that living room the whole time if he would have told Sosa, like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, fool, I just caught a case. He ain't say my name. And then last but not least, you smoked Manolo. I will say this because I look at this situation two different ways. From Tony's perspective, to a certain extent, I will understand why he's upset. Tony ain't had to smoke him though. That was going too far. But again, getting high on your own supply, you're not thinking straight. Because I think if he wasn't high, him and Manny would have been fighting. If anything, he wouldn't have whacked him though. I 1000% disagreed with what Tony did to Manny. Because I felt like the way the movie ended, it could have ended differently if Manny was there. They were still outnumbering him. Them hitters was deep. But at least dude wouldn't have been able to sneak up on Tony. Manny would have been there. He would have been like, oh, bow. But because you whack Manny, Chi-Chi got put out. Both big boys got put down. So it was like, your sister was smoked. You had no help. You was really all by yourself. And it's funny because that was how he was carrying himself towards the end of the movie. He was like, yeah, I don't need nobody. I do this all me right here. No. Like Nino Brown, you got what was coming to you. New Jack City is my favorite movie. But Nino wasn't getting high. That was probably the only thing for him. But Nino was he was a stone cold greedy though. They kind of cut from the same cloth in a way because of the way they was thinking. They both was thinking on some like, I don't need nobody. This, I trust me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where you think Tony's downfall began in Scarface if you disagree with anything that I said.